Good morning, good morning, good morning. Now, welcome back to the Operation Hill 100 Hearts channel where we do what? Focus on healing, humor, and hot motherfucking topics. So let's get going with this Dear DJ letter. All right, this one is a long one, ladies and gentlemen, so stay tuned. Dear Deja, this shit's so childish and embarrassing that I couldn't even face you to get a healing heart session. So I've had a childhood friend for the last 15 years. I turned 30 in April. Anyway, as long as I've been friends with my good up sis, is as long as her mama hated me. My mom believes it's a jealousy thing. Let's back it up a little bit. I grew up in East New York in a private house across the street from the housing project where my best friend lived. I wasn't allowed in the projects, but I befriended my bestie in the park, and my mom allowed her to come over to the house. It was obvious that my bestie was less fortunate, but my parents had taken a liking to her, and anytime they bought something for me, they would pick something up for her, try to take her on vacation with us, etc. My bestie's mom can't stand my mom, and vice versa. So my dad did most of the communicating with my bestie's mom, and she was very fond of my dad, so it worked out. So I think you get the drift. Moving along, as we got older, my bestie and I made some good choices for ourselves as far as schools, careers, and overall being successful. Now, where I often made mistakes was when it came down to romantic relationships. I was always in and out of relationships, and when I did feel like I found my one true love, he got in trouble with the law and got 40 years in prison. I was depressed and heartbroken. My bestie focused more on careers and school, so she was single for the most part until she met L. L kind of put me in the mind of my ex. He's handsome. He's a handsome man, extremely smart, ambitious, goal-oriented, well-dressed, basically a mover and a shaker. The moment he and I met, we clicked because we have similar tastes in fashion. Like I said, I like L for my friend. Let me repeat that. I like L for my friend. At one of my parents' famous barbecues, my bestie invited L, and my cousin assumed he was there for me. When I shared that he was my bestie's boo, my cousin drunk ass said, "Nah, y'all make a better couple to me." Of course, that didn't go over well, but it came and went. A couple of months later, Elle was planning my bestie a surprise party and asked if I would help out. I was so excited because my friend had been working so hard and going to school that she deserved to be celebrated. So we got to planning. A part of the planning was picking the venue. So Elle picked me up one Thursday evening to go view the venue, and on our way inside the venue, we ran into my bestie's aunt coming out. We exchanged pleasantries and kept it moving. She didn't speak to Elle and vice versa. I asked if he knew that that was my bestie's aunt, aka his woman's aunt, and he said no, I never met her. So we proceed with the plans. The next day, my bestie is banging down my door at 7 a.m., and as soon as I opened it, I was met with a fist to the face. The fight commenced from there, and the whole time she's calling me a sneaky bitch that always thought I was better than her. DJ, I'm hurt. And not about the fight, but just about the things my friend was saying. I've always been good to my friend. And I can't believe she would even think I would. I can't believe she would even think I would do something like that. I'm pretty sure when she finds out the truth from Elle, she'll want to hash things out. And I am so hurt about the way she handled me in this situation that I don't know if an apology would be enough. Is it worth it to throw 15 years of sisterhood away? Was she ever my sister? Let me know what you think, Deja, and thank you in advance. Sign, should I forgive or should I give up? Oh, this hurt me. This hurt me. I don't like this. I don't like this. Number one on the list, I'm sorry that this happened. I'm sorry that this happened because, like you said, despite any obstacles, you and your bestie have always had a good relationship. So I'm sorry to hear that. Not only did it go south, but it went way south getting physical. I know for me, that is a deal breaker, right? Getting physical is a complete deal breaker because normally when you're in my circumference and we have that close of a relationship, that means I have an immense level of respect for you. So putting your hands on me is like the highest level of disrespect you could pay me. So once that happens for me, it's a deal breaker. I need you to figure out your deal breakers in this friendship. First and foremost, I need you to figure out your deal breakers in this friendship. You know why? Because you're not a baby no more, right? You guys are not 15 no more. And this was and is a very ugly situation. Very, very ugly situation. So if we were sitting down in the Operation Hill 100 Heart session, I'd be like, hey, let's have a seat, let's talk. You pretty much give me the rundown of the past of y'all friendship, and then we would sit down and talk about A, if you were open and interested in forgiving this young lady, what that would look like for you. regarding the parameters of y'all friendship. Because I know a lot of times too, and I've had this happen to me in the past as well, not just in friendships, even in relationships with family. Sometimes when you go through stuff with people, people don't have the best communicating skills. So it's like, okay, well, if I'm not mad no more and you're not mad no more, okay, we're back besties. Okay, cool, don't worry about it. And it's like, no, I think we need to address the way you acted when you were upset and vice versa, because we need to make sure that never happens again, right? And most times people don't want to do that because they're uncomfortable conversations. So people don't feel comfortable saying, yeah, I fucked up. Yeah, I overreacted. Yeah, that wasn't right. And even if I do, I want to hurry up and skim past it. Let's not get deep on it because it's too much for me. Yeah, well, what took place is too much as well. What took place is too much as well. And not only is it too much, it's very disrespectful, for your relationship to go in that direction. So if we were sitting down, I would say, listen, let's draw out what the parameters of you guys' adult friendship looks like right now. Right now. Because you probably remember what it looked like when you guys were 15. What does it look like right now? So like, I'll give an example. It's not one friend that I have today that expects to hear from me every day. It's not one friend that I have in my friendships today that expects to see me all the time. Because I have made it clear to everybody who's in my life right now that my priorities and my goals require so much of my attention that I really don't have time to be that social. It doesn't mean I'm not your friend. It doesn't mean I don't love you. It doesn't mean I don't care about you. It doesn't mean the friendship is over. That's just what I can offer at the moment. You have the right to say, Khadija, that's not enough for me, so let me just go on over here and find me some new friends. Or, I understand, I get it, bitch, and I'll holler at you when you back in motion, if you ever get back in motion. Right? So I think for you guys need to sit down and discuss what those parameters look like. And another reason why I'm saying it needs to be discussed, because maybe also one of her parameters as an adult in relationships is she don't want you involved with her romantic partners. I watch reality TV, and on Love and Hip Hop right now, Carly Red and Bambi, who are thick as thieves all these other seasons, are now going through it because the same similar situation happened. Bambi was trying to assist Carly Red's man and help him do something nice for Carly Red, and Carly Red is like, I don't want anybody talking to my fucking man. I don't care how much friends we are. I don't want you texting. I don't want you having his number. I don't want you following him on social media. That's not what I want my friends to do. Those are the parameters of her friendship. And maybe Bambi didn't know that because last season, Carly Red and Bambi was double dating together. So how would I know that now? Which is why these things need to be discussed. So I think if the option for you is to come and sit down and say, listen, I think we can rebuild what we have because I love you and I still want our friendship to last, then we need to talk about what I cannot take, and I need to know what you can't take, so we never have to go down this road again. And in doing so, I just was telling somebody yesterday on Hill of Hearts, I was like, you know what's crazy? All of the things that I heard when I was younger that were cliche statements are so freaking relevant and real as adults. One of the things my mom always told me was, you teach people how to treat you. You teach people how to treat you. So now if you guys lay the parameters out and somebody oversteps their boundaries when it comes to those, you have a right to make a decision to disconnect because I laid them out for you. I'm telling you what I don't like. If you're showing me that you're gonna consistently disregard that, then I'm letting you know I'm not fucking with you. I'm not. So I think it works best if you teach your friend and vice versa. You guys teach each other how to treat one another. Because another thing is too, maybe if you guys would have had the conversation of, how we maneuver when it comes to romantic partners, and also how do we address unfortunate and uncomfortable situations. Because knocking on my door and punching me in the face, I'm sorry, you couldn't just ask me? But the flip side of that is going around with my man to look for venues when you didn't ask me. So maybe these are things that you guys need to discuss if you want to go forward. Because going forward, I promise you, my dear, no matter how much the both of you will say to each other, no, I forgive you, going forward is going to look really different. But you have the opportunity to see if it's going to look different in a bad way or in a good way. I have a friend right now that I rekindled our friendship. And going forward for our friendship did look different when we came back to be friends. But it looks different in a good way. It looks different in a respectful way because we've had the discussion. Not say, oh girl, you still mad? Oh, I'm not mad no more. Oh, I miss you. Oh, I miss you. And then we just go back being friends. No, we need to have the deep-rooted conversation. Because sometimes even in having those deep-rooted conversations, you realize that we might not be able to move forward. And if that's the case and you can't move forward in that situation, there's a way for you guys to disconnect amicably. And that's always the goal, because what I never wanted it to be was me be friends with a person for X amount of years, and then if we have to separate, we separate and we have war. Like you said, I was friends with you since I was 15. I'm 30 years old now. So now I'm going to wait till I'm 30 years old to have war with a person that I have 15 years of history with. What sense does that make? Especially when we weren't warring all along. Because you know how it is. Sometimes you have some friends that they just around because y'all in one friend group, but you like, me and this bitch never got along. We always argue. So if you and that person decide not to speak no more, you can anticipate having war with them because y'all never really got along anyway. But it sounds like for you and this young lady, you guys were close. So why not? So why now when y'all separate be at war? No. If we have to separate, let's see what that looks like amicably. You know? And the only way to see if it can come back together or if it needs to split up is for you guys to have pure, real, like no filtered, unfiltered, conversations. Which means I need to be as transparent with you as I can be. Like case in point, your friend might say to you, well, bitch, I felt like ever since your man got all that time, you got desperate. And I didn't know if you would have fucked my man. So therefore, I didn't want you dealing with him privately. Again, is that nice to say? No. Is it nice to hear? No. But it's real. It's real. So then it lets me know why you busted my door and punched me in the face. Instead of you just pretending like, oh, I didn't mean to do it. No, tell me what's up. Tell me the real reason that you upset. And then your rebuttal could be, no. Even if I did get desperate, you my homegirl, I wouldn't do you like that. Or even if I did get desperate, that's your man. He's your type, not mine. You know, so it's so many ways that you guys can move forward and also help heal one another. But this has to be some real talk. This has to be some real talk. Like not no, oh, you know, let me sugarcoat it or let me play the blame game. No, you need to be able to come forward with your genuine feelings. And then you need to be able to receive when others want to share theirs. And at that point, it's either, okay, I can understand where you was coming from. I can see how that hurt you. I apologize. Or it's okay. You on one end of the totem pole, I'm on another. It don't seem like we're going to be able to meet in the middle, so we might as well just leave it here. But at least you guys will have had the conversation. Because a lot of times, too, I know that people leave things open-ended. People leave things open-ended. So it would be like, okay, well, we never even got a chance to talk about yada, 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 yada. My communication skills are on 100 million thousand. So I know how to communicate, and I do communicate. I don't communicate long, you know. And again, these are things that you work on as you get older, right? Especially for relationships that you want to keep, you know. But I communicate because I don't want you to be confused about what I feel, why I feel that way, what caused me to feel that way, and what the breaking point was for me. Right? So I think that you guys need to have the real unfiltered conversation of, this is what I felt. This is how you made me feel. This is how I saw you moving, and this is how I reacted. Again, you guys can talk about if those reactions and behaviors and so on and so forth was right or wrong or fair or respectful. These are all conversations that you can have after you lay out what's real. Because a lot of times with people, and I tell people this all the time, I'm not prideful. I am not by any stretch of the imagination prideful, especially when I'm in relation with you. I'm not prideful. So like, I'll give you an example. This is the perfect example I could give. So I met a girl, right? I met her through one of my homeboys that I grew up with, right? And she and I are the same sign. We developed a beautiful, we just clicked instantly. So she and I talked outside of him. You know, we text, we shared information with each, resources with each other. I mean, I love her. Still to this day, we still speak. But there was a hiccup in the road. So the hiccup in the road was that her and my friend that I grew up with had went through a little tiff in their relationship and they separated. Now, again, I'm not really talking about him when me and her talk. We're more so talking about our own stuff. So I wasn't asking all of these questions about them breaking up. But then as I paid attention as time went along, like the social media and stuff, I could see that they had kind of separated, right? And in their separation, she dated somebody else. So that was confirmation for me, like, oh, my homeboy must be over. But again, that has nothing to do with me, right? I still want to continue the friendship with her. So she and I continued. Once again, we didn't talk about her romantic life. We talked about our own stuff. I went to an event where I ran into one of my homeboys. And when I ran into him, I went to one of my events that is one of my homies that I grew up with, but also my other friend I dated, that girl, he was gonna be there, right? So when I ran into him, we kicking it, right? I haven't seen him in a while. Hey, what's up? See, like, yo, you know me and your friend, he was calling her my friend. We broke up. So I was like, yeah, that's crazy, you know. So anyway, long story short, I had taken a few drinks. Him and I was conversing. He was like, yeah, she acting like she better than me, you know, making jokes. Let me see how she look now. He asked to see my phone so he could see her social media. In all fairness, I honestly, in those moments, was not thinking. I was not thinking, right? So I give him the phone, and I just go on with my night, and then eventually, like, here, DJ, I got your phone. I take the phone back, go on with my night. Anyway, a couple of weeks later, I had reached out to her for something, and her responses were a little short, but I didn't give it much energy, and then finally she said, DJ, I'm upset with you. So I said, what happened? What did I do? So she explained to me how when they separated, because of the relationship that me and her shared, she continued to deal with me. But everybody else that she known as a result of him, she deleted them from her social media. She, you know, got them out of her life. So the only person that could have shown him all of the stuff that he went back and revealed he saw on my phone to him would have been me, right? And in those moments, I felt so bad. And I could see the situation playing out a number of different ways, right? Number one on the list, I could have lied. It said, I ain't show her my phone. That's a lie. You don't know what you talk about. I could have did that, right? Number two, I could have took the approach of, well, that's my motherfucking friend. I knew him before I knew you, so what? I could have took that approach. But you know what? I wanted this friendship to continue to work because I genuinely like her, right? And I was wrong. All of that bullshit that I just told you just now, it was true. I didn't know him before I know her. All of that. I could have said, oh, no, I didn't do that because you didn't see me do it, right? All of those things could have been a factor, but guess what? That would have been me, A, lacking the ability to take accountability, and also B, my ego was involved now. I ain't bowing down to this bitch. Fuck she means she got a bone to pick with me. Yeah, she does because you were wrong. You were wrong. Were you intentionally wrong? According to me, no, I wasn't. I didn't give him the phone thinking about, oh, he's going to see something he don't want. I wasn't even thinking about them. I was getting tipsy, enjoying my night. But at the end of the day, it's still something that you did wrong. And if you want this relationship to work, you have to take your pride and your ego out of it and take accountability for your part in it. You fucked up. And I had to own that. And that's exactly what I did. I said, you know what? You are absolutely 150% right. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. You know, and praise God, she ended up forgiving me. We ended up able to move forward. So I'm so grateful and thankful because she is a good associate to have. We're not necessarily besties, but I consider her, we're very friendly to each other. And I enjoy speaking to her. She's always been very nice to me. We built an excellent rapport. I didn't want to lose that. So if you have 15 years history with this person, then both of you have to take your pride and your ego out of it and see what you can do to make it work if that's what you want. But if that's not what you want and that's not what can take place, you have to be very honest and clear and say that, and also make an effort to move forward so you guys can be amicable, because you do not want to have to deal with going to war or having drama with a person that you once, if not still, do love. I'm here to tell you I've been through that, and it's very frustrating. It's very frustrating because, again, when you're the person who's not prideful, you eat a lot of crow. Because the reason why you and the other person is at war is because of them. They're prideful. Their ego is involved. They're angry. So they're constantly doing things. And if you let your ego and your pride get in the way, you guys will be at war. I have no desire to be at war. Not with a person that I once loved. So if you don't have any desire to be at war with your friend, now is the time to have some very honest and transparent conversation. My concern, right, and I'm not going to lie to you, my concern about you guys having this transparent conversation and sitting down and talking is the things that were said during the course of the scuffle, right? So it was said that you always thought you were better than her. That's something to examine. But in your letter, you started it off by sharing that she was less fortunate than you, right? So I wonder, did you share the part about her being less fortunate as a result of what she said in the scuffle? Or is that what you feel and that has been showing up in your friendship? Because if so, we are dealing with a totally deeper issue than L. The both of you have some deep-seated, deep-rooted stuff that needs to be worked on. What I will say about building relationships, right, is, and this is not just because I know a lot of times people only look to be equally yoked in romantic relationships. But I think you should look for that in all your relationships, right? So like case in point, I'm equally yoked in my work relationship because me and my boss work well together. He does his part and in turn I do mine. Right? I'm not sitting around angry, upset with my principal because he didn't do something and I'm picking up all the slack. No. He does his part and in turn I do mine. In friendships, I know that sometimes people would like to befriend people that they can look down on or that they think they're better than. I don't agree with that level of thinking because I feel like if we're not in something that's equally yoked, it's going to end up falling apart anyway. You're not on my level. I'm not on your level. We're not on the same level. So, if you view your friend as the less fortunate friend, I'm almost absolutely positively sure that it has shown up in your behaviors, which is why she said what she said. And if you don't view her as your less fortunate friend, then that means that she has internalized that she's less than you. And she feels like you're thinking you're better than her. And because that is her mental fight in being in friendship with you, is the reason why she would feel insecure when you're around her significant other. Because I already think that you're better than me. These are deeper issues, my dear. That's a conversation that's not just, oh, you busting the door and punch me because you thought I like L. No. This is way before L. So in the Healing Heart session, I would be asking you, what careers did you guys choose? What schools did you guys go to? How did you make those determinations? What cars do you guys drive? You know, who is usually taking the lead in the friendship? Who is usually playing it back? Who is usually the one doing all of the compromising? Is it an equal scale? And if you think it is, does she think it is? And vice versa. So I'm sorry, my dear. I wish this was just, oh, you got mad at me because you thought something because you was having a bad week. No. I think it's a lot deeper, and I think that's why it escalated so quickly, and I think that's why all of those things were said throughout the midst of the scuffle, because it's a lot deeper. And it can be deeper on both of you guys' part. It can be deeper on one of you guys' part, but it's definitely deeper. So you guys need to come get your Operation Heal 100 Heart session. I've done friend group sessions, and praise God, they have been so successful. And you know what's crazy? They have been successful in both regards. I've had friend groups be able to mend their differences, and I've had friend groups separate, but they're able to do so amicably because of what we discussed in the session. Right? So if you guys want to, I'm here. We need to be able to get to the bottom of things. And if you don't feel like you can do it alone, I'm always willing to help. If you're making a choice to do it alone, that does not offend me or bother me, because I also feel like sometimes, most times, oftentimes, I know for me all the time, in order for relationships to work, you need to keep people out of them. So if you guys want to go at this alone, I totally respect that. And if you guys want to, if you ladies want to come for your Healing Heart sessions independently, I will request that, because I want you to get everything you need out of this friendship, even if it means separating from it. All right, my dear. So I hope I was able to help. This was a deep one. This was a deep one. This was a deep one. I'm very familiar with friendships. I'm familiar with the dismantling of them. I'm familiar with the rekindling them. I'm familiar with the being in them long term. I'm familiar with the being in them only for a purpose. Like, I am very familiar with different configurations of friendships, and very I'm in a space in my life right now with friendships where that's a damn DJ. In any event, thank you for tuning in. All of my subscribers, please hit the thumbs up on this video. Please drop in the comment section and let me know what you think. Please enjoy your week, and thank you guys for tuning in. Talk to you soon.